So today, I'm not gonna show. You can clearly see that I have this stuff. I have the light now. I have the heater. So I got everything in. But I'm gonna do a kind of another video on that stuff. But today I want to kind of start with the soil, or at least the substrate, and this will be kind of a tutorial on ADA soil, or at least me putting it in the tank. Obviously I don't have any of the other stuff that people do to ADA substrate before they put it in, all the powders and then the power sand and then the ADA soil. I don't have all that stuff just because I simply couldn't afford it when I bought all this stuff. Just because, it's like if you looked them up, they're like $20 a bottle. And there's like probably 5 different things you add to the substrate. So $500 in additives. I mean, $100 in additives. I don't think I was feeling that. So, but what we did get is one bag of Amazonia, which is just ADA soil. And then before that, we're gonna put in some power sand, small. Honestly, this bag, I don't know if it's gonna be enough. We're just gonna have to see. Either way, I'm just gonna put it in and try to do the best I can. I mean, honestly, I probably needed 2 bags of these, but this should be perfectly fine. I don't know how much it's gonna fill up really. Maybe 2 inches, maybe like an inch. We'll have to see. I can't really tell from the bag if it's really gonna fill up this tank much, but I think one bag's gonna be perfectly fine. I mean, we can always add more if we honestly need to, but I think one bag's gonna be perfectly fine. What we're gonna start off is making kind of a little square without getting that power stain on the edges. We're gonna kind of like go around, basically put it all in the middle, but without hitting any of the edges. Now I don't got anybody to hold the camera, or I don't really have a mount right now, so I'm gonna pause the video and kind of come back and show you exactly what I did. So I'll see you in a second. So we put in the power sand, small bag just now, and as you can see, looking pretty good. We got a little piece sticking out here. But this is basically what I was talking about keeping it away from the borders. And people might ask why we do that. There's kind of basically simply just one answer to that, and that's because it just looks better. Because when you end up putting ADA around the rest, you just won't be able to see the this stuff under it, and you won't see layers through the front. It just makes your scape look a lot better, and just takes your focus off other things that's going on in the tank, instead of just having these old ugly layers in your substrate. But some of you might be wondering right now what even that does. Well, this stuff does. And this stuff, it gives extra nutrients to the plants. ADA can only do so much, and it will last you a long time in nutrients, but you also need something that's under the gravel that will last a long time and basically be kind of a backup. Now, there's other stuff that I could have put before this that will keep the ADA going for years and years to go on. You keep it fresh, and then there's other stuff that will add extra nutrients and all this other stuff. Obviously, in the beginning, I said I just simply couldn't afford all those at the moment, but this is perfectly fine what I'm doing right now. You know, Having this really will help, and it kind of looks like they're basically almost like a little styrofoam, which is not. It's kind of like these rocks, but they're pretty. Yeah, there's pretty. All this spots are kind of this dirt, and then they have these big. I think these are like dirt clumps, but that's basically how that looks. And if you want to know how I kind of got it straight, or kind of really straight like that, if you have one of those stainless steel tools, they kind of just look like a little push shovel. That's what will help you kind of push it and make it perfect. If you don't have one of those, I just took one of my playing cards, take a card that you don't need like a joker, and kind of push it around this. I mean, it won't get your card dirty. It's just it might get a little mud on it, but it's not like wet and everything. It comes dry. It just, like, if you look at my hands, it gets kind of dirty from the dirt. But that's basically step one. Now all we have to do is put the actual ADA in here, and I was surprised that it actually fit this. You can see the small bag actually worked fine for a 20 gallon. So if you have anything under a 20 or lower, the small bag will work perfectly fine. Anything over, I'd recommend the medium bag or even the large, depending on which size tank you got. And when you get the bigger sizes, the pebbles, I guess you can call it, are going to get bigger in grains. So small will just look like little, pieces of gravel. But as you get larger in the bags, the larger the grains will get of these. But that's about all I have to say for this part. Next, we'll add the ADA. See you on the next. So now, as we see, I basically just, I would have kept going, but I kind of wanted to stop and show you guys this. But I kind of filled in the edges. So it looks kind of like that. And then, so you kind of want to do the edges first, just so if you do pour it on top first, this stuff might spread all over the place and move it around. So you kind of want to make sure you get these edges first before you move anything else around. But I got the light set up right here so I can have room to dump it all in. But that's basically all for this step. Now we're gonna fill the rest of it up. We'll see if I need the whole bag or not. I kind of hope that I keep a little bit. But if I have to use the whole bag, I have to use the whole bag. It don't matter. But it might be a good thing that we save a little bit just in case we want to do a little nano tank one day. I think that'd be really cool. But on to the next step. So the rest of the ADA soils in, we end up using the whole bag, which doesn't bother me. I kind of wish we did have some left. I kind of did, but then I realized the front was a little low. So we used the rest of the bag, but perfectly fine with that. So I would say if you have a 20-gallon or less, one bag, a 9-liter bag would be perfectly fine. If you like a deeper sand bed, go get another bag, do what you want to do. But this much is basically perfectly fine. I can kind of put a measuring to it. So basically, as I kind of predicted, it would give you about a 2-inch depth. Now this isn't layered out though. Maybe if I flattened it all out perfectly, you might get 2.5, maybe 3. But as you can see, I got it deeper in the back, which is close to actually exactly 3. So you might get about 2.5 if you flatten it out. But I think I kind of messed up because I just realized that with the Glass Aqua, the Serious Stone that's coming, I did actually buy sand too, and I wanted to see if I could make like a path. Kind of sucks now because I just realized that, but I don't know, maybe we can put it in the front, maybe kind of the front. I wanted to kind of make a pathway, but now that I look at this tank, I don't know if that's going to be this tank's really too small to do something like that. But I think if we want to, depending on how much, it's only a pound, so it might not even be enough to even do anything with it. But we might put some in the front, I don't know. But as you can see in the back, you see how I sloped it up. Now, why do we do that? Now, we do it, now you don't always, it's not a have to, but it gets a sense of depth. And when you go to put your scape, whatever you do, it just gives it more depth, it just makes it look nicer. A lot of these, fancy professional aquascapers, they all do it. So, if you go look at theirs, all of them have slopes like this. But it just gives it a sense of depth. It makes it look, a little better. Instead of having just, it all even and flat, it just kind of makes it look plain. So giving a little sense of depth just makes it pop a little. I did have to move the heater a little higher, which is not even a problem by me because it's less water. Because on this tank, the trim hits it, so the heater has to go fully underwater, which these heaters aren't supposed to, but they still work perfectly fine. So no troubles there. But I did have to raise this up a little bit, but no problem. Still got a little bit of tip under there. But yeah, when I filled it in, no problem. I just kind of was sitting there kind of making it how I want it. It's going to get moved around anyways because I'm going to do an escape. But I ordered 30 pounds of Serious Stone, so we'll see what we could do with that. This tank, gets smaller and smaller as more stuff you add into it, so 30 pounds seems like a lot now that I'm thinking about it, but I hope I get some rocks. I'd like to get, at least 2 big rocks. At least, find some cool rocks or something to do with. But as long as I got kind of 2 main rocks in here, because I want to keep as much swing room for the puffer as possible. This tank's already, kind of at the limit. But except there's no other fish going in here. Maybe in the future, maybe, but except we're not. This tank maybe only be running for 2 years max before I end up moving. It's only we're not moving very far, but I don't know what's all gonna go on because once we move, this tank will get destroyed or get taken down. So I don't know how it's all gonna work, but we'll still have this tank set up for as long as we want. But so far, I mean, looking pretty nice. I mean, not gonna lie, I felt pretty professional doing it after watching, people like George Farmer and all those professional aquascapers. You kind of feel like them a little bit when you're doing these things. Doing a little slope, making it look nice. But so yeah, I mean, we used power sand, the small, and then just a regular 9 liter bag. I'm glad I was gonna get the powder, which it goes on the top to layer it, so it's better for the foreground plants, which I totally would get it, but getting that and that was already $100, so it's just what it is. But it would have been nicer to have a little bit of smaller as the top layer, but it looks perfectly fine. I like it how it is. And I did wish, we probably could have got the light version. It does look light under, well, it does look lighter under the light, but it is a really dark substrate. It's almost black. If we take it out here, you can see it's like basically black. But under the light, it makes it so much brighter, which is good. But we probably could have got the light version, and it looked a little bit better, especially with the Sirius Stone. But I think it looks fine. You guys can tell me what you guys think. This first time with ADA soil, I think it's a success. You guys can tell me what you think in the comments. All you people that have used ADA before, how'd I do? Rate me. But, I know I couldn't get all the stuff that ADA has for their substrates. I wish I could, just so I can give a full-on tutorial. Not a lot of tutorials are kind of in English like this, so I thought I could give you guys a better view and show you a little more and talk a little more. But you guys know, if you guys got any questions, put it in the comments. Anything about the substrate, how it feels, how anything. If you guys want to know any random questions about this stuff, because it is expensive and some people stay away from it because of that. So I totally see why. So you can ask me any questions that you possibly want about ADA or anything on this tank. Just ask away. But I'm gonna open those up and see what those all are about. But other than that, we'll get the Sirius Stone, and I'll definitely show you that process. But other than that, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the hardscape.